Warning, this podcast is intended for consenting adults. We're talking about all things non-monogamy, which means some of our conversations are going to get down and dirty. Please know we are not professionals, and these are strictly our views and opinions and in no way represent the opinions of our employers. We respect others' opinions as we know everyone in the world of non-monogamy does it differently. Hope you enjoy.
Hello, beautiful goddesses and beautiful warriors. Welcome to our pajama party. And I am your host, Pinky. And we switched a little bit today as Ava Moore taking a second path on it. I'm going to be the leader. Wow. Okay. So I want to welcome you to this segment where we're actually going to be talking about Ava's more secret.
I have a secret.
Oh my God. You have a secret and you didn't tell me that?
I do have a secret to share. And believe it or not, as close as you and I are, it took me a long time to even share this secret with you, right?
Oh my God. Yes. I couldn't believe when I heard it. And it's, I would say a lot of women can really resonate with that. I would say I can. I totally can.
So, I mean, I think a lot of women have a similar secret. And I think it's going to surprise people that this is my secret, considering we talk about sex and pleasure and all those kinds of things on a regular basis. But I'm here with you today because I feel like, hey, I talk about sex all the time and I have tons of sex and I talk about orgasms and all that kind of stuff on a regular basis. But I think there's a lot of women out there who can't. And I wanted to share the fact that for a significant part of my life, I was not able to have an orgasm through intercourse.
Oh my God. I can't. I just cannot fathom that.
Yeah, I can now. But I was able to have an orgasm through masturbation, through oral stimulation, by someone, fingering my clit. I could not have an orgasm through penetration.
So you would say that it's more mind kind of aspect of for you in particular. Okay, I just want to clarify for everybody who is listening to us. We're just two goddesses who are talking about our personal experience. We're not in the medical field. We're not representing anybody. We're just talking about our experiences. So please take that with a grain of salt and just ride with us, because we're here to support women who are just normal women like us who are trying to figure out their bodies.
Right. We're not going to talk about the science-based stuff necessarily. We're going to talk about kind of what happened with me and my journey to actually figuring out how to have an orgasm and allowing myself. I think that's a big part of it, is allowing myself to have an orgasm and enjoy sex. When I was younger, I was very much in my head. I was so worried about the other person. And while today I am still I want to make sure my partner receives his pleasure, there is a component where I know I want to enjoy this as well. Where previously I was so worried about his enjoyment that I would just push my enjoyment to the side and not worry about that. I would be stuck in my head, wondering if he was enjoying himself, what I needed to do to please him. Was I taking too long? Was he getting bored? Will he feel bad if I don't have an orgasm? So I would just fake it. And I don't fake it anymore.
Well, it's a no. Now, like before I would fake it before I met my husband. And anybody who is new to me, I would fake it. It's just like, get it over with and let's go and do like whatever. Because for me, I can get aroused and have through penetration, orgasm through penetration. One of those women that I can. So I didn't need to. I want to have an oral stimulation. I desire that. But it's not a must because it was never given to me before. So it's like, okay, let's go into whatever. So rush through it, right? Just to make sure that he's happy. And then, of course, I will get satisfied as well. But in the long run, it was hurting me because I was not talking to my partner. And it's not like, you just said, we're going to talk about you. We're going to talk about us. Because both of us have had issues with that before, even when I met my husband, Anthony, and everybody knows that probably whoever listens to our podcast that I was before when I met him from the first time when he went down on me, I was hiding under the sheets for a month. Like,
you've come a long way.
Literally, like he would go down and I'll be like hiding, like literally. And he was like, stop. And I was so shy. Like I was just like, he's like, what's going on? I'm like, I can't talk about it. Like, I can't talk about it. It's like so much trauma, right? So there's the expectation that there was never even expectation of a man going down on me. It was just never done. Or it was like, it was done, but it was just like briefly visited and passed by and just like, let's go straight for intercourse. So when he would stay there for like 15, 20 minutes to make sure that I climax, I was like shocked. I was like, are you comfortable? Is your elbow numb? Do you want me to put a pillow? And I still like, now I'm getting better because he really drilled into my head, like, stop. If I'm not comfortable, I'm going to move. I'm going to make myself comfortable. Stop thinking about me. This is your time to enjoy it. Because now I'm literally feeling this energy that flows through us when we are engaged. So it's not about tit for tat, but there's his time and there's my time. And it was never before my time. It was always his time, like before Anthony.
For me too.
It was always like, is he satisfied? Because if he's not satisfied, he's going to leave me, right? How can I hold him back from leaving me? Because, and it's just so stupid. Like, oh my God.
Well, and that's just it. I was always more concerned about my partner, that I wasn't even considering my pleasure in it. I was always like, I have to satisfy him. I have to satisfy him. I have to satisfy him. And whatever happens for me, it doesn't matter. Like, and obviously I was lucky enough where if somebody went down on me, I could have an orgasm. Mm-hmm. So there were times I did have an orgasm, but I could never have one from penetration. And I thought I was broken because nobody, unless you look into it or research it or whatever, you don't know that there's so many women out there who can't have an orgasm from penetration. I seriously thought that I was broken.
Okay. We are going to quote some resources that we are, thinking they are credible. Psychology Today, we're going to attach the article to our show notes, says between 80 to 95% of women do not have orgasm with unassisted intercourse. Among 50% of women, fake orgasm, often to please their partners or speed things along.
That was me. I was faking it constantly. I would never let a man think I didn't have an orgasm from penetration, because I didn't want them to feel bad. Mm-hmm. And I didn't want them to know there was something wrong with me. And I wanted them to think I enjoyed it, right? So I would never, ever, ever let a man know I didn't have an orgasm. I would just fake it all the time. I would be like, okay, it's been long enough. If I don't have an orgasm soon, quote unquote, he's going to get bored. So I better just fake it so he can come and get over it. And that's only if I had a partner who was worried about me coming, because I had plenty of partners who didn't even care. I wouldn't even get to the point of faking it. He would come roll over and fall asleep. Right. So there's that component of it. So I had done a little bit of research as I got older on it. Because I was like, again, what's wrong with me? And at the time I spoke to my gynecologist, I said to her, I was like, hey, I'm X number of years old and I have never had an orgasm from penetration. And she literally said to me, she's like, oh, honey, she goes, that is not for our 15-minute appointment. She goes, that's going to take multiple sessions of therapy. And I was like, oh.
So that's therapy. Like, you see, like, that's what she said. So at the time I was discouraged, right? Because I was like, well, I don't want this to be a whole process. Mm-hmm. So I was just like, well, I'm just never going to have an orgasm because I wasn't going to go through sexual therapy and all that stuff that she said was going to be what I needed to have an orgasm. So during my research, I found a couple of tips, but I just kind of like threw them in the back of my head and never really paid that much attention to them. Again, just assuming this was my life and I will just go on not having an orgasm from penetration. And if my partner does go down on me or play with my clit, that's going to be the great times that I actually do have an orgasm. Because back then I did not ask for it. Mm-hmm. If that's what I needed to have an orgasm, I did not share that with them. I just let them do what they wanted to do to me. And that was it. It didn't. What I needed, again, did not matter. So, it is so hurtful to hear you saying that and me remembering myself never being able to talk about what I needed. And even when I did, of the 17 years relationship that I had, I was punished for it. Like, in the way that he would disconnect and he would say, like, it's never enough, like, whatever it is. And I'm like, dude, we haven't had sex for 9 months. Okay. Oof. So long story short, it's not that I'm trying to put him down. Obviously, there's some trauma going on there in the past that happened to him. I don't know exactly what it was. We never talked about that, right? Don't talk about it.
We don't talk about those things.
We don't talk about it. We'll just get on a bike and ride away because all the problem is going to go away once you're on a bike and the air is just hitting you on your face. I'm sorry, I'm just being generically speaking. Like, you can't run away from your problems. Problems are going to always show up here and there. And that's why he's in my past, not in the present.
And for me, it was, despite not having an orgasm from penetration, I still had a very high sex drive.
Yeah, agreed. 100%. Agreed. Like,
I still was like searching for that. Like, I mean, I still have a very high sex drive today, and I am very well satisfied these days, right?
Yoo-hoo.
I can have an orgasm. And my partners are very giving in that area. But it was like, I had a high sex drive, even though I wasn't having orgasms all the time. And it was almost like I was searching for that orgasm. Like, okay, maybe it's going to happen this time. Maybe it's going to happen this time. Maybe it's going to happen this time. And over again, it did not happen. But I was still searching for it. And I went on for years, way too many years.
Wait, who was driving you?
My pussy. Thank you very much.
Why are we talking about that again?
Because Pinky loves talking about pussy power.
Where is it coming from? Come on.
Mama Gina.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love Mama Gina.
Yes,
one day she and I are going to sit down and I'm going to be all like, thank you so much. I've known all this time. I was talking about my gut feeling, gut instinct, and she talks about gut instinct and whatever, but it's totally down to the pussy. Like, every decision you make in your life, from her point of view and my point of view, I'm not sure about anybody else, it's pussy fucking driven. No, your pussy was not interested in getting,
Oh, for this, yes, my pussy was interested.
So if you look at your life throughout the whole time, and I don't want to get off the topic, anytime you were in a relationship and you were leaving, who was driving you?
Oh, no, I left for other reasons outside of my pussy. It wasn't just that.
We just got balloons for some reason.
I don't know what the heck that was. I lead with my brain, right? So many times it was, at the time, it would not have mattered how bad the sex was. I would have stayed. It was other things that made me change my relationships.
But because of the
Only
because of the relationship not working, right?
Oh yeah,
The
being
pussy
bad
is driving you
relationships.
not because of the want that she doesn't get or whatever, but because she knows that you're not happy.
I knew I was not happy. I
Okay,
don't
so
know if
that's
it
what
was
I'm
my
saying.
pussy.
Like, I think you need to understand the concept of it, like more than just one thing, that it's like satisfying you. It wants you to be satisfied in more than one way. And that's going to bring me into, I don't want to interrupt you, but I have a point. Number one priority for most women, if they wanted to be satisfied sexually, is safety.
Yes.
If you
And I never felt safe in my relationship.
Bingo.
And it's not a physical safe. It's more of a security. They were not secure relationships.
Right, and everybody has a different version of safety. I mean, priority is safety is like, like I have a roof over my head, I'm being cared for. For you, it was like he's not providing for me, or like for me, it was
He was not stable.
he was not stable, or he was not giving enough. Like I've been in a relationship for like almost 20 years and I didn't feel like it was home, because we had everything separated, half and half. So that kind of thing, like belonging.
Belonging.
The
yes.
form of belonging was not there.
Right.
And it's important.
Yeah, it is very important. It is very important. And I went years and years and years without having an orgasm from penetration. And I'll never forget when it finally happened. And it was after my child was born. I was a single parent from the day she was born. I left her father while I was pregnant. And I was just going to go out. I was an exhausted, tired mommy. I hadn't had sex in a long time. I was focused on her. I was not focused on me. I was, getting through life, going to work, taking care of my child, and just doing what I needed to do. I had an opportunity to go out, babysitter taken care of for the night.
Yoo-hoo.
And I was going to go out, and I was of the mindset where I needed to go out and enjoy myself. And I was like, you're going to have sex tonight. It's happening. You need to fuck. And it's not about anybody else but you tonight.
Yoo-hoo.
You know what?
Love it.
Listen, bitch, you deserve this. Like, that's exactly what my mindset was. You're going to go and you're going to enjoy every fucking second of this night because you work hard, take care of your kid, you're fucking tired, and you don't get to go and have any fun. So you're going to go and you're going to take in every single moment of tonight. And you're not going to give a shit about anybody.
Yoo-hoo.
So when it came time to have sex, I kind of was like, I'm going to feel and enjoy, because even though I wasn't having an orgasm, penetration still felt good. It's not like it felt bad. It just didn't bring me to climax. So I went in with the mindset that I was going to just feel every single touch, every single motion. I was not going to worry about him. I was going to be selfish that night. It was all about fucking me.
I like that.
And I remember really just closing my eyes, and when it came time for penetration, just actually thinking about feeling what was happening. Because in the past, I never concentrated on it. And I don't know if this is the key to success for other people, but this was the key to my success.
Love it.
I was not thinking about, oh my God, am I taking too long? Because that night I was going to take as long as I wanted. About me enjoying. I wasn't worrying about, oh my God, is he going to get bored? Or, oh my God, when am I going to fake my orgasm? Because I'm not going to have one. I was just relaxing because it was a moment I could relax, and I was enjoying feeling everything that was happening. And in the past, I would like have the buildup, right, of going to climax, and I would never come over the edge to actually climax.
Could it be something to do with you becoming a mom?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think it was just like
in your head. The blockage was in your head.
I was always worried about other people. And that night I was being selfish.
What a big
It was
change,
all about me. I didn't fucking care. Like, I earned this, right? Not knowing I was going to orgasm, I just earned feeling it and enjoying it because sex was still good, even though I wasn't orgasming, right? So I remember also I had read that people who have trouble orgasming, if they clench the muscles, like in their butt or in their in their legs, as they're coming to climax, the tensing of the muscles could help. And that night, I was paying attention to the feelings that I was having, enjoying the pleasure of the movement, and I tried the clenching of my muscles, and I actually went over the edge and had an orgasm. And I'm sure it was because I was not thinking of anything else but what was happening to me in that moment.
Nice.
And I had never done that before because, again, before it was not about me. Yeah. And this night was going to be about me, and it didn't matter. Sorry, dude. He had no idea that that's what it was about. I mean, he was still taken care of, but I wasn't worried about what he thought or how long he thought it was taking me. I was just going to enjoy every second of it, and enjoying every second of it led me to actually being able to have an orgasm and being out of my head.
So that something shifted in your mind because you were not in a long-term relationship and you didn't have to worry about things that used to really get into your head during the time when you had an intercourse before with your partner.
I didn't care what he thought.
Right. That's a huge shift. Yeah. Huge shift. Huge shift. Your body and your mind synced and you were paying attention. And that's something that I always listen to. And like when I said about safety, the other part of it that needs to happen is the environment where you are and how comfortable you are within yourself with the person. Like you barely knew the guy, but it doesn't matter. Whatever the circumstances were, he made you feel comfortable. He made you feel, wanted, right? Mm-hmm. And you didn't feel like he was bored with you, because a lot of it, what I've seen before with me, a man would go down on me, and like, if I feel, and we talked about it before, in any way, shape, or form, that he's bored while he's there, like he puts his head on my thigh, it's game over for me. Like I can't climax.
Yes.
It's just like, so like, what are you doing? You don't want to be there? Just don't do it. Okay? Don't do it.
I mean, definitely now, having partners who make it clear that my pleasure is as important as their pleasure is very helpfor
Oh, even though it's a must. It's a must because we want to give, right? We're pleasure givers, goddesses. So we want to make sure that our men are pleased. So if I don't feel that from him, it makes me feel sad.
Yes. If I feel as though he's bored or not interested or whatever, it definitely has an impact on me. But I don't need it now. Like somebody could just bend me over and fuck me and I'm going to have an orgasm. Right? Like he could just fuck me to get off and most likely I'm still going to come. Will I feel good about it later? Mm-hmm. No, but I'm still going to have an orgasm. So I don't necessarily have to have that comfort anymore. I can have an orgasm without it.
Right. But there's different orgasms, right? There's oral orgasm and there's vaginal orgasm.
I can have a vaginal orgasm just without all of that.
Right.
At this point in my life, it doesn't. Say I'm at a party, right? I am in a room with 20 other people. People are having sex. Mm-hmm. And I start engaging with somebody that I didn't even fucking talk to. Mm-hmm. he could bend me over and I can have an orgasm.
Yes.
So I don't need that anymore.
Right.
But getting to this point, I did.
Mm-hmm.
I needed to feel safe. I needed to not feel like there was any pressure on me because of him, because of what he thought. I needed to get the whole, what does he think, out of my head. And once I got that out of my head, it was okay. Because I believe, my circle would hopefully confirm this, that I'm a very giving partner and I still prioritize their pleasure.
Yes.
But I also prioritize my pleasure.
Right.
Also. And focusing on my pleasure just as much as I focus on theirs, where I never focused on my own pleasure before.
And I think for a lot of men that are in our circles is it's a turn on. Yes. It's a turn on that you know that you can speak your mind and you tell them in the beginning how you like it and what happens. Because like Mama Gina says, you have to learn your body in order to give and receive pleasure. You cannot not know your body and expect the other person will know your body better. How on earth is that possible?
Right. And I never told any of my partners, even though I knew it was the only way I was going to have an orgasm, I never asked them to go down on me. Mm-hmm. I just waited for them to do it. Mm-hmm. Now I have partners who I know my pleasure is as important as their pleasure. And I feel very comfortable asking them for what I need. I just started engaging with a new partner, right? And we had sex the first time. It was amazing, mm-hmm. right? But he didn't go down on me and he didn't play with my clit. Mm-hmm. I still orgasmed. But the next time we had sex, I said, hey, just an FYI, it's very helpful if that's how it starts, because then I'm going to have better orgasms. And it's true. Mm-hmm. If you warm me up through my clit, my orgasms are going to be even better through penetration. Mm-hmm. That warm up is very helpful. Mm-hmm. I never, ever would have told anybody that that's what I needed. And now I'm not afraid to do it. I was actually very proud of myself when I told him this. Like, you know, because that was the first time I ever really, well, I expressed my needs to my partners. Such a new partner, I would have never have said that to. And it is about learning. I have learned my body in a way I could have never have imagined. I have learned the spot.
And that took time to get to know your body.
Decades, right?
Okay, here we go. So, I'm going to share something also just recently happened to me. Go ahead.
Okay. So I have learned that for a really good vaginal penetration orgasm, if I'm laying on my back and the guy is on top of me, missionary, he needs to hit me to his left a little bit, to my right. Now, have I shared this with any of my partners? Maybe one realizes that that's the spot. But I've gotten to the point where I just shift my body a little bit to make sure that spot gets hit. And I'm screaming because I know that's where it needs to be. My partners probably don't even realize that I'm doing it. But I want to have an orgasm. They want me to have an orgasm. So I know if I just give a little movement to make sure that spot right there gets hit, I'm going to go crazy. And I never knew that.
So recently, we've been experimenting on my island with my partners and my husband more and more. And I would say knowledge is such a power. The more I listen to podcasts or read books, the more I learn about my body. And having 69 on the side, like literally like changed my life in terms of like, wow, how much longer I can actually stay in the position. And we've been experimenting with one of my partners one time and we did the 69 and I actually started to swallow him. Deep throating. Deep. And it happened where I took him in, and I just, like what you were saying in terms of squeezing like your abdominal area really hard, because he was literally penetrating me. I was choking on him. At the same time, I squirted it for the first time ever in this position.
While giving oral.
Yep. And I was doing that over and over and over again for like half an hour, like, or something. It was just like not stopping, gushing, like, you know. It was amazing. It was delicious.
So fucking hot. Yeah.
That happened. And he was completely soaked, like half of his hair. He has long hair. He was like, touch it. I was like, holy shit. And the pillow and the comforter was down to the bottom, like on the bottom. It was down comforter. It was completely soaked. Like, you know, like touch it. He's like, touch. I'm like, oh my God. So it happened again next time without a warm up. And now it happened with hubby twice, you know, and like literally yesterday we were doing a beautiful thing, which I'm jumping on top of him because I love that. And what he did is I was on top of him. He took my torso and he was bringing me in towards him. So I was throbbing.
He was rocking you forward.
Rocking me hard. Yep. Okay. And we were a little high.
That seems to be your jam lately. But anyway, continue.
One puff. That's all I need. One puff.
That's all it takes.
I'm flying. And of course, he had the medical marijuana. And I've learned that medical marijuana is much higher than the regular one on the streets. I don't know. Like, go figure. Like, if you get it from the farm, it's not as high. I don't know why. But medical marijuana puts me on my ass. So he's doing this motion. And I squirted it. And he's the one who says, oh my God, I think you just gushed it. And I was like, oopsie daisy, I think I did. It was just like,
daisy, go you.
Yeah, like it was just like so much that like to the point where I couldn't really feel anything anymore. I was like, oh my God, that was a lot of juice coming out of me.
It around now.
So I was like, oh my God. And now it's like, okay, I must say that in the first time when it happened, when my husband like literally made me squirt, it was extremely painful experience for me. It was so painful to tears. Like I teared up, and it was just like what was happening was he was jerking me so hard. He took his two fingers and he put them inside of my vagina, and he just literally jerking me really hard. I love that. Hard. Like in the beginning, he did not start it like that. It's just a gradual build up. Many women are actually, you know, afraid of that, but they have to go deep because they have to get the G-spot going,
to get
right?
The right spot, yeah.
Yeah. So the G-spot has juices that are engorged inside of it, and then it just comes out. It comes out. There's a wording for the liquid, and I forgot I forgot the name of the juices that come out. It's nothing to do with pee, urine, nothing of that kind. So the juice is gonna come out. So when my first time, I was tearing up because it was so painful. It was so uncomfortable. It was just so like, oh my God. And I've learned that I've listened to some podcasts and whatever, and I've read some books that if some women actually had that experience one time in their life, and they stopped because they were like, oh my God, it was just so powerfully painful.
I did not like it the first time.
I did not like it the first time too.
I was like, the guy was like, okay, I'm going to make you squirt. And first of all, I didn't believe him. Second of all, when he did, I was like, oh gosh, I never want to do that again.
It was very painful.
It was a horrible feeling that I did not like. And the next time he told me he was going to make me squirt, I was like, oh, I really didn't like want him to. It was
burning, right? It was burning sensation.
It was burning, and there was like a pressure deep inside that didn't feel good.
Yeah.
And I did not like it. It wasn't until I learned that I needed to push back.
Yes. So I was pushing back when he was doing the first time. And I think what happens is your body is like kind of like, what the fuck are you doing? It's freaking out. It's like, what are you doing? And then you do that again and again and again, and your body starts to relax and starts like, okay, I know what's happening. I know where we're going. And now it's like literally yesterday and this morning also, it's just gushed it out of me. It's
You
like,
don't even need to push anymore.
I don't even need to like push.
me either.
I mean, I push a little bit maybe, but I don't need to. Sometimes I push, sometimes I don't. It just happens because if he really hits the right spot, it just comes out.
And he knows how to hit the right spot. That's for damn sure.
Yes, he does. He knows. He literally just went down on me, and I was like, so delicious, delicious.
So good.
Literally, women, please do not.
Don't give up.
Don't give up, because it's such a wonderful experience. Yeah. And for many women, it's something that they know how to do it, from a very young age. And for us, it was just like came along
later.
like very late.
Yeah.
Later. It's okay. Chill out. It's okay. You'll learn how to do that. It's later.
It comes when it comes.
Yeah, it's all about you come and you come and you come.
You come some more.
Yeah.
But it's true. Like, you do learn. And like, once I had my first orgasm, I couldn't orgasm all the time from penetration, but it was happening more frequently. Now it happens all the time. And like, I've known Anthony 6 years. And when we were talking about how this topic was going to be, one of the things we were discussing for the pajama party, he even said to me, he's like, you come a lot quicker now than you did when I first met you. And I'm sure there's many things that go into that. Our relationship, I'm sure, is a component of it. But it's true. Like, I have learned, or my body has learned how to orgasm now, where it couldn't in the past. And it's definitely surrounding myself with people, for sure, who, for me, this is an important component, and you touched upon it before. Make it known that my pleasure is important. Because when you have a partner who isn't interested, for me, when my partner is not interested in my pleasure, it is much harder, even to this day.
Yes,
even to this day.
I agree. 100%.
Even though I know how to have an orgasm now, even to this day, if it's just like, oh my God, he just wants to get off, I can, but it's much harder to orgasm.
Yeah. And I think it's, for me, it's also important, as you said, you have to know yourself, your body. And my body actually, through going through the menstrual cycle, is changes. So my uterus will be located in different areas throughout the time of the 28 days.
Oh, wow. I'm not that into my body.
I am. So I know, like, before the menstrual cycle, it drops down a little bit closer to the entrance. So I feel more. And then after it, I'm extremely horny when my period is ended. And like, I'm horny before and horny after. Horny all the time.
When are you not horny?
Okay,
Never.
so the one thing that I wanted to discuss, oh my God, it's so important. I forgot that area. When I was on a pill, it dumbs down. My horniness was down. Like, I didn't even know like what was going on in the beginning. And then I told my hubby, I was like, hubby, this thing is really like put my radar of horniness in the basement.
It wasn't until you came off of it that you realized it, right?
I did not. No. I was on it, and I was telling him that I just didn't feel like...
felt the difference.
I felt the difference. I knew like this thing is messing me up. Like, I literally do not feel the normal way I'm always feeling it. Like, I really want you all the time. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't care. Like, whatever. And it's not me. So once I got off, I'm like, oh my God, I was jumping on him all the time. And he's like, okay, yeah, definitely was a problem over there. Yeah, but, luckily, like, we decided to do this, and, whatever. Every couple does it differently, and every couple goes through that. And if that's something you need to have, be aware of it, that it will feel different, because your estrogen and evaluation period is differently synced with because of the pill and whatever. I'm not going to get into the medical stuff.
Science of it all, yeah.
The science of it, but body changes, definitely. So be tuned into it. And also for me, the environment is important, like the setup. Not for everybody. For me, it's important. So I like to have my candles lit up. I like to have the lighting to be darker red color or whatever, like I like to have an outfit. I like to dress up. I like to have, music is very important, aromatherapy, like all those things, like essential oils, massage. I actually wanted to, I've gotten the candles that are massage candles. I wanted to experiment with that hot and cold kind of thing.
I just got them too. I
Good.
haven't tried them yet though.
Yeah, I didn't try them, but I am going to. So I wanted to experiment more with various things like tantra massages. There's 2 different kind of massages for male and female, for penis and for vagina.
Yeah, I'm starting to learn.
There's names for it, which I don't remember. Starts with letter L for men, something for women.
Lingam massage.
Lingam massage, yeah. So it's all about pleasure. It's all about getting yourself in this kind of environment. And also, before you get involved with somebody, it's important to have, what is it called? When you're getting, when you're talking about something to happen and you're get in the mood.
Oh, foreplay?
Foreplay, thank you, sorry.
Foreplay is very, very helpful. Good foreplay will intensify my orgasm now, through the roof. Foreplay is not needed to have an orgasm necessarily for me anymore. But good foreplay, really, I have different levels of orgasms, and good foreplay is definitely going to have me screaming where the neighbors are gonna call the cops.
Yeah, foreplay. And also I actually created this. Well, I didn't create this. I took it from one of the podcasts, and somebody else has actually told me that Mama Gina has the same thing. It's called snapshots. So snapshots is something that I highly recommend for anybody to do it when you're in a relationship. It's not for everybody, but if you like it, go ahead. So every time you meet with somebody, and after that, you're reviewing things that you highlight, the things that you liked a lot. So this way, 2 people are going to learn more about each other because you're highlighting those aspects of it. And I think it's so it's such a juicy kind of interaction. It's a snapshot with a spin to it, of a sensuality and sexuality to it. So if you like something, if the person really paying attention, they will do it again next time because they knew that you really enjoy that.
Yes, for sure. For sure. And the partners I have now know my body, and they learn what I enjoy, and we explore different things, and what works is great, and what doesn't work, that's okay too, because they're going to go to something else that I do enjoy. But just back to for me, I've come so far from not being able to have an orgasm through penetration to now very often having multiple orgasms from penetration. The environment, like you were talking about, is not important for me. Like I said, you can just bend me over. Mm-hmm. I was actually in a situation recently where I had never in my life had sex in a car.
Ooh.
Until recently. Believe it or not, my kid was at sports practice and one of my partners came to visit, and we drove to the parking lot next door, and we fucked for an hour while my kid was in practice. Nobody was around. I was scared to death.
Ooh.
But that made it almost even better. And previously, there's no fucking way I would have had any kind of orgasm from anything. And I had multiple mind-blowing orgasms in that hour. So it can change.
Oh, definitely. Definitely can change. And I think it's important to really, like I said earlier, to know your body, to get to know yourself, and to literally touch yourself, in the areas that think you're going to like it or maybe not going to like it. And, vibrations, all the other aspects of it is, accentuates the enjoyment. But to know your parts, where you can actually take your partner's hand and guide it to the area where you like. Like, for example, when you go down on me, I like to have your fingers inside of me at the same time.
I don't.
You see?
Distracting.
No, it's fucking amazing.
Distracting.
Love it.
Yep. But again, different, right? But when my partner's doing it the right way, and I'm like, oh, yes, just like that. Keep going. Don't move. Where previously I never would have said that. And you're even more aggressive than I am. when it comes to
Me,
that.
aggressive? Oof, no, never.
You're going to fucking smother somebody one day between your legs. But anyway. But I never would have said that. But now I'm confident enough in myself to say that. Or like, they're fucking me and they're hitting the spot. I will be like, oh my God, that feels so good. Don't move. So it is knowing your body, and it is being able to communicate when it's good. Tell them, because they could very likely move 3 seconds later, and then you're like, oh, you could have almost been there, and then they move, and it's like, oh my God, So it's okay to tell people. The people in my world now want to know that. People in my past, not so much. Oh, fuck. But the people in my world now, partners who are my pleasure is just as important as theirs, they want to know. Like one time I said to somebody, I was like, I almost had an orgasm. And they're like, well, why did you tell me? I wouldn't have stopped. Now I don't tell them. I mean, I do tell them not to stop.
Not to stop, yeah. And also like different parts of orgasm. For me, I can orgasm for hours, like through penetration.
I'm so jealous. My orgasm comes and then it's gone.
In most cases is.
I do have what I call aftershocks. That's where like I'll be like cuddled up after sex and I'm still like, I'll like have a twitch.
Yeah, jerking. Yeah, I have that too. But for me, it's like continuously, like my legs are like really buzzing.
You tell me hours later.
Yes, hours. Yeah. So like, for example, if I had an intercourse at nighttime, it actually could be, if it's so intense, and if I orgasm through oral and through vaginal, it could wake me up at the morning. It would be like this warm, buzzing feeling in my legs. It was literally like, it would just like tap on my head, like, wake up, remember that feeling? And I'll be like waking up at 6 o'clock in the morning. All I want to do is sleep, but I can't because my body's buzzing, and I'm like, and I'm literally laying in this feeling of the blanket of like buzz. I was like, oh, it feels so good, but I still wanted to sleep. But my body was like, wake up.
Nothing about
Enjoy. Or like if I had to go in the morning to the gym and I'm still buzzing, I cannot do like workout. Like literally, I'm just going to be like all over wobbly and whatever, like working like a penguin.
I've had that like 5 minutes after an orgasm where I can't walk because my legs are jello, but not 5 hours after an orgasm.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. And also like I through that penetration, I have orgasms constantly, like every 2-3 minutes, it's constant. And it's like, for me, it comes in waves. So if you're a man, you would feel, I call them cherries, you would feel my pussy like literally squeezing you. Like it could be two ways. Like I can squeeze you myself because I can just like, do the Kegels.
A Kegel, I love.
I can do that.
Pussy around.
Yeah, wrapping. Yeah. Or it does it itself because I'm constantly in this form of like pleasure. And when they climax, I make them stay inside of me and they're so sensitive. And I'm like, you're not coming out. You're feeling the cherries.
That's when I really, even if my orgasm's over, that's when I really grab on tight. Using my pussy to like hold on tight to them right after they come.
It's a form of connection, and that is when you have to do an eye contact.
I need to concentrate on my orgasm. I can't worry about eye contact.
That is exactly what you need to do, is because it's going to accentuate and explore higher level of connection. Breathing is another way of connection.
Yes.
When you synchronize your breath with somebody who you care for. Also, when you are actually having the intercourse, concentrate on your breath. Like I was listening to a podcast and they talk about how important the breath is. And rather than losing your breath, like, breathe in and out and sync that with your movement. I want to try that. I've not tried that yet.
Love that.
I cannot believe you say that. I cannot believe you say that.
It's true.
I cannot believe you say that.
A former partner of mine, he and I had a BDSM relationship, but he would, before we started doing anything, he would make us synchronize our breath. And because of the life I lead, work, kid, whatever, responsibilities, stress, it was so important for me to have that, because it took me from a 10 of stress and anxiety down to a 4, right? Where I was ready to be able to focus on that. And now I have a partner who, for him, breath is very important as well. And it definitely, again, brings me from a 10 down to a 4, where I can focus and be present and, enjoy the journey that we're going on together. So yeah, no, I do enjoy breath work when it comes to that.
I want to do more of that. So I flow pretty easily with my man. I just have tendency to just drop into the zone fast, because there's so many beautiful things that are happening already. Trust, connection, chemistry, all the beautiful things. But I feel like at times I get out of breath too fast. And I
forget to breathe.
Yeah, and I wanted to concentrate more on breathing. And breath is so important, because eye contact and breath is so important.
All right, listen. Anthony is working on it.
Your other partner is also working on it. You got 2 people.
Ramon has started working on it. So you should be very proud of him for trying to get me to open my eyes. All right. So you have 2 people right now in your corner.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, my people. I even have never met Ramon, but I'm thanking him for it.
You're going to meet him very soon, so you can thank him in person.
Should I give him a hug or blowjob or both?
Whatever you want is fine by me.
I'm not sure about the blowjob, but
listen, I know you get off on sharing partners, so
well, let's take it slow and steady.
Whatever you want, my friend, is fine by me.
So yeah, definitely. I feel like breath is very important. Movement is important, like synchronization. So I want to talk about my last experience. I went to a 5 rhythm dance. And it was pretty amazing experience where I was dancing with a female friend, and she's bi, and we're just exploring a little bit of whatever new relationship, very, very, very new. But I did not realize how breath and movement. We were dancing together for maybe like 10, 15 minutes. And then we stopped and we synchronized our breath, and we just held each other in a really long hug. Oh my God. It was so fucking hot. It was so hot. Like, we both felt it. And when we disengaged, she said, "What was that?" And I said, "I think you just stepped into my island." She's like, "Oh my God, I want more of that." I'm like, woo! Okay, hot.
She's got a girl crush.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is breath, movement, synchronization, eye contact, anything that moves you or brings you joy, do more of that. And you'll just find yourself being in this beautiful place we call flow.
So I am a woman who went from not being able to have an orgasm through penetration to being a woman who almost had an orgasm from anal sex.
Whoa.
Like, I was right there. Right there. I felt it throughout my whole fucking
Oh my God,
body.
my legs are just like buzzing right now.
So that, my friend, is my next mountain to climb.
Okay, so I think you need to have
happen.
a dildo like buzzing on your clit at the same time, because I was talking to somebody recently with this woman who I was dancing with and her friend. We were saying goodbye on the street, and that's the conversation people have with me because they know I have a podcast about sex. So literally, this woman does not know me, but those two women know each other. And she introduced me to her friend, and we just started talking, three of us, and this woman was talking about it. She's like, oh my God, one of the best intercourses is through anal at the same time when I have my vibrator in my hand, And I'm like, oh, okay. And she's like, it was amazing. You just have to, breathe through it and just trust your partner and enjoy the moment. I'm like, wow. And we both look at her like, okay, with something that is something that I want to work towards it.
For me, anal is definitely something where it's a special privilege. Not all my partners get it. And it's not because it's just something that I feel more comfortable with doing it with certain partners than others, or they just haven't expressed an interest in it per se. But it's definitely not something that I do with somebody right out of the gate. It is definitely something that you work towards. It is something where I need to be so comfortable with the person where I can allow that to happen. But again, I never would have thought it was even possible for me to have an orgasm that way. And I came so close that that's the new goal.
Yeah, and if you ever actually really see porn, I'm not really into porn much, but I remember when I was watching it, when they do anal sex, they don't really go in deep. You just have to tap in just a little bit. You don't have to go deep.
No, deep for me is the way to go. Okay. Sorry. And again, I know the spot, right? Before it was in one direction, for anal, it's in the other direction.
Oh my God.
You're going to have to... One way to the left, the other way.
You're going to have to map. Ava Mo's map.
A map to Ava's body. Listen, my men don't need a map. They've figured it all out on their own, which is why they're in the circle. They wouldn't be in the circle if they weren't able to figure that out.
Because they want to. That's the whole beauty of it.
Because they want to.
Yeah,
that makes all the difference.
It's a huge difference because they want to make sure that you're satisfied. And they know because we are pleasure goddesses, if we're satisfied, it's going to be a double over towards them.
Oh, they're going to be well satisfied.
Exactly. Yeah. They're going to be walking 100%. Away like, oh, honey.
Right. And that's the thing. Now in our world, I have partners where both pleasures, pleasure for both is important, where it wasn't always like that. Right. And that makes a big difference. And I think that also helps contribute to my ability to orgasm. So
it's all in our mind. We are so much in our heads, women in particular. Oh, we need to get out of our head and just feel our bodies. And I'm telling you, I'm a little bit more of sensuality, soul, and whatever, kind of person. Our souls know how to make us happy. But our body, our mind and our body is not synced. So what we have to do is we have to sync all three in order for us to grow and glow and be happy. I don't know if it makes sense to anybody, but it did make sense to me.
As long as it makes sense to you. For me, getting out of my head is key, right?
Synchronize the breath. That's the way to do it. Synchronize your breath.
Synchronizing enhances it, right? I could have an orgasm without synchronizing breath. But that definitely enhances it, and it definitely puts me in the right zone to be able to do that.
Yeah.
So baking is out of my vocabulary now.
Thank you very much.
That is never ever going to be an option ever again, because if I'm not having an orgasm, then I don't have an orgasm.
Exactly.
And I'm not going to fake it for somebody else's ego, which is basically what I was doing in the past. Those days are over.
Good for you and good for me. And it's because, he's not feeling comfortable because he's tired. What the fuck? What? Get away.
And that's okay.
If you don't want to do it, don't do it. Don't do it.
And you know what? It happens. It happens. The guy could be all horny and ready to go and then not be able to. But you know what? That's fine. It happens. We are old enough. We have enough sex. To know that happens. And you know what? Any of my guys, if that were to happen, not that I usually don't, but if it were, they're going to make sure I'm satisfied in other ways.
Yeah, definitely.
Right? So, but it happens.
Oh, maybe they'll go back to it later. You know what I mean?
Go back to it later.
Yeah.
And I am going to try to help them.
Yeah.
Ava to the rescue.
Navigating them a little more to the left. Oh my God. So, well, thank you so much for being open and raw with us.
Open and raw. And I really wanted to be open and raw because I want women out there to know, hey, I didn't have an orgasm for a very long time. And now look, I fuck like a rock star and I have a sex podcast. So you too can have an orgasm someday, even if you're not having one right now.
It's all about relaxation and
That's
being with a person that you can trust, build on it, right? So relaxation, trust, building, communication is extremely important, not during the sex.
during the sex too. I'm like,
Well-
don't move.
Well, no, yes, that kind of, but not like, okay, when you do this, it makes me, don't do that.
no.
Don't do that while you're having intercourse. Do it before or after, reflection, whatever, or pre, engagement. Let's talk about it. Last time you did this, it was amazing. Can we do a little more of that? I wanted to experiment more, like in a shower. Right? I had a dream. I am going to have, experimental stuff in the shower.
I just did that the other night.
Yeah, I didn't ask you how it went.
Oh my God, it was so good. It was so delicious.
Yeah. Okay, good.
I love that.
So I want to gush in the shower as water runs through me everywhere. And then I take him in. Ugh, so delicious. Oh my God, my pussy is just on fire right now. So
I need somebody to come and fuck me because I'm so turned on right now.
anybody? I'm going to go and jump for my husband.
I'm here all by myself.
You can come over.
He's busy with one of his other partners tonight. She's referring to my partner who's the closest in location.
Oh, yeah.
Because everybody is kind of spread out geographically a little bit too far for me to just pick up the phone and be like, get over here now.
Meow.
It'll be me in the shower head tonight.
Oh, okay. So I'm going to review one more time. Maybe I don't need to, right? We got it?
We got it. Get out of your head.
Yeah, definitely.
Focus on the enjoyment for yourself.
Yeah.
The other stuff will come.
And know what you like. Please learn your body.
Know what you like. And it's okay to tell people what you like.
Okay, for example, I like when you pinch my nipples, like lightly, right? Do not bite them. Do not do anything very painful, but squeezing and touching and pulling, love that shit. Okay, so learn your body.
I love if somebody rubs my ass, that gets me going. That is the party zone. Or kisses my neck, forget it. Those are my two spots. You touch those, it's game over. Clothes are coming off.
I love my nipples to being deliciously.
Too. Anthony almost had me orgasm just by taking his Wolverine claws and rubbing them down my butt cheek over and over and over again. One butt cheek is more sensitive than the other.
The right one.
And the right one, yes. See, even she knows.
Just guessed.
And he kept doing it. He was doing it on both, but then he realized the reaction that he was getting from me when he was doing it on the right side. And holy fuck, I almost had an orgasm just from that.
Okay, so next time, can you have a vibrator at your clit at the same time when he's doing that? Please, you're going to explode.
Yeah, man.
A vibrator, anytime somebody does anything beside your, whatever, it's just so amazing. So I love when my partner is on the back and I have my vibrator in the front. Delicious. Delicious.
Yeah. So good.
Yeah. So now we gotta get off that thing and go and do whatever. I think
we need to get off getting off.
Get off getting off. Thank you very much, everybody. Our beautiful goddesses and warriors. Warriors, please listen to this podcast because you want to know what gets us off
We just handed our people another roadmap.
Please, yeah, and stay there, okay? Even if you're tired, just use your hands. You don't need to use your mouth if you get tired. There's so many different ways to do it. And sometimes you got to learn her body. Like, don't stay on the clit because clit is extremely sensitive for some people.
Stay on my clit.
Yeah, you see, for me, it's extremely sensitive. Stay down, like around the edges. Just use your fingers inside of me and just like keep going, like come Heather, come whoever.
Go right for my clit and don't put your fingers inside of me.
You see, know her, let her teach you her map and just explore. And goddesses, let go, just let go. Let it be and just flow. Thank you very much, beautiful goddesses and warriors. Thank you for listening to our podcast, and we'll stay tuned in.
Stay salacious, everyone.